Chapter 8, Periodic Properties of the Elements. The first section, 8.1, in your textbook, I would highly encourage you to read that. I'm not going to lecture on it, but it gives you just a little real-life example of why might we care about stuff like this. So I would encourage you to read that. I'm just going to jump in at 8.2. Basically, what we're going to look at here is how the quantum mechanical model that was introduced in Chapter 7 explains behavior of matter, of stuff. So we've talked about Mendeleev before. Here's a picture of it. Good old Dmitri. He ordered the elements by atomic mass and saw that there were repeating patterns of properties. And that led to what we know as the periodic law. When the elements are arranged in order of increasing atomic mass, certain properties recur periodically. He used these patterns to predict the properties of undiscovered elements. And he noticed in a couple of places that the atomic mass order did not match up with those recurring properties. So he followed the properties instead of the mass order. One example of this is tellurium and iodine. And if we find that on the periodic table, we see that tellurium is to the left of iodine, which would lead us to expect that its mass is smaller. But the mass of tellurium is 127.6. Mass of iodine is 126.9. He switched the order because iodine behaved like the other halogens, chlorine and fluorine, etc. And then, he went beyond just observing that. He actually predicted the properties. So he predicted that a compound would be, or not a compound, an element would be found below aluminum. So he called it eka-aluminum. This was discovered later. It's called gallium. Here are the properties that he predicted. Here are the actual properties. And as you can tell, he was very good at predicting things. Here's eka-silicon, now known as germanium. His predictions and the actual properties matched up very well. Periodic law predicts what happens. It's a law. Doesn't explain why that pattern exists. And so quantum mechanics is the theory that explains why the periodic trends exist. When we know why, we can better predict what